If I could only keep one, essentially a top in every category favorites video, I have just picked my top products in every single category of makeup, and I'm going to show you a look with them all. Kind of a holy grail makeup look sort of situation. There's lots of different names this video could be, but that's essentially the main idea. Anyways, let's just get on with it. I found picking a product in a few categories really difficult because I have quite a few favorites and things I like for different occasions, so it was really hard to pick sort of a holy grail. This one was a clear favorite in the primer category. It's the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. As you can see, I've barely got any of it left. I've got a brand new one waiting to be opened, so I'm not too worried about running out. It's just great texture for smoothing out your base. It's quite hydrating still, which is perfect for my skin tone. And it just smooths out perfectly. I'm not sure how much it actually helps with longevity, but it definitely helps smooth my base and kind of smooth over any dry patches I may have. It just helps to create a nice even canvas, and that is why it is my go-to and almost completely finished in the few months I've had it. Foundation was really hard to pick. I have so many foundations and I love quite a few of them for very different reasons, so it was really hard to pick just one. I was weighing it up between the NARS Light Reflecting and NARS Sheer Glow. They're my two go-to foundations at the moment. They're very similar in their finish, but their coverage is a bit different and just sort of how it wears, I would say. In the end, I ended up picking NARS Sheer Glow, and that's because it is a little bit more of a fuller coverage than Light Reflecting, but it's very flexible in that I could use a very small amount and get a similar look to Light Reflecting, but I could also build it up. So if I had to only have one foundation, this is quite good for being flexible. Yeah, just annoying it doesn't have a pump and I'm too cheap to buy a pump. NARS foundations have a really good shade match for me at the moment, so that's why I've been loving them a lot. Gave that a good shake and I'm just going to pour a tiny bit out. I just poured about like a pump and a half sort of amount. I can build it up more if I want to, but I'm just going to take it on my Rare Beauty liquid foundation brush and work in layers to apply it. I like this foundation because I feel like it can be an everyday foundation if you wear it very lightly, but you can also build it up a lot and get a really full coverage. Not full, more medium, but get a good amount of coverage where it feels appropriate to wear it out. Because I never really wear full coverage foundations. I just think they look heavy on my skin and really accentuate texture. Might be the dry skin in me. So I just smooth that all on and I take the Coco Cosmetics sponge and just stamp that all down. In, down, I don't really know. See, I only use a small amount and I don't look too heavily done, but I can build this up. Do I want to build it up? I might just add, whoa, I just poured out way too much. And that is why this foundation can sometimes annoy me. Just sort of put it back in and I'm just going to take it on my sponge, about like another half pump, and just apply that all over again. See, that built up really well and it just gives a lovely natural finish. It looks more glowy in the camera than it does in real life, but it gives a very skin-like natural finish. For concealer, one I don't think I could live without, and I find it so perfect for my under eyes and any spots, is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. It's a great multitasker, so if I did only have one, this would be it. And it's got a decent amount of coverage, which is normally what I want in a concealer. If I'm concealing something, I want to conceal it. So I like to take that on a sponge and I'm just gonna put it around my eyes. Sometimes I just wear this concealer on its own with no foundation because it does such a good job at just making me look awake. And as long as I just have it around my eyes and a little bit down the center of my face, like I'm doing, I feel instantly better. I have a tiny spot down here. I'm just gonna put a little bit of concealer on. But yeah, that concealer just makes me feel so awake. And it's got quite a high coverage as well, which I like for a concealer. Next is powder. And I think this is kind of an obvious choice if you've watched any of my other videos. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless powder. First of all, I'm just going to put this around my eyes because I am using some cream products later and I don't want to mess with that. So we'll come back to this powder a bit later on, but it really helps with preventing any creasing around my eye. I just kind of put it around my nose and in my chin as well. It's a very lightweight powder. I usually use it more as a finishing powder. I don't really go all over the face with it. I will do it in particular areas. It is quite expensive and I think you could go for something like Rimmel Stay Matte if you wanted, but I do just Love that. It's my little treat. This is a clear favorite, and she is coming back because she was my ultimate bronzer that I used in summer. It's the Chanel Les Beiges cream bronzer. As you can see, I've made a big dent in the middle. I've hit the bottom, which I'm happy and sad about because it means I'm getting through it and making use of the bronzer. But it is quite an expensive product, so when it's done, it's gonna hurt to buy another one because I'm definitely gonna buy another one. It is one of my favorite products ever. It just makes me feel sun-kissed and bronzed and glowy and healthy, and it's so good. It's so good. Anyway, I'll put it on my face. I like to use a Sigma F50 brush. I find it definitely works with a stippling brush the best. It took me a while to sort of figure that out, but once I did, there was no going back. It was my absolute favorite. And I'm glad that they have a slightly darker version as well, because this is quite fair and it suits fair skin tones really well for a bronzer because it is kind of warm. I think they could do with expanding the shade range even more. There is still more room for growth. They are heading in the right direction with what they're doing. It took them a very long time to get a slightly deeper shade though, which is not good. But for me, my skin tone, this is one of my absolute favorite cream bronzers, and it is so effortless to apply. It looks good over full coverage foundations, no foundation, and it's my favorite in summer because I build it up quite a lot. And I'm just gonna put it in the sort of 3, anywhere the sun will hit, on my nose, down my neck. I just feel so healthy in this bronzer and warm, and there's never any problems with the formula with patchiness or picking my foundation up. It just always looks so good, and it's so reliable, and it's a decent amount of product for the price. I feel like it's like 46, it's in the 40s pounds, but it has lasted me a really long time. And if this was the same size as like the Fenty cream bronzer or something, I would have finished it by now because it feels like there is such a lot of product in there. Blush, I'm going for the MAC Glow Play blushes as I find they are just my go-to. They are what I throw on for a natural look, a full glam look. They suit everything. So if I had to only keep one, it would be these. I don't know what shade to use though. I think I'm going for a more neutral look. So I think I'm gonna take that one. Yeah, so I'm gonna take the shade So Natural on my MAC 159S brush. These just give your skin a lovely natural glow. There is a good selection of shades. They last a nice amount of time. And like I said, I will use these for all types of looks as well. Something I would throw on to bare skin, or I would use in a full glam. This is one of the more natural shades, hence the name is So Natural, but there are some vibrant shades as well. I might go back and add more later, we'll see, but that is how I look at the moment. Just gives a lovely slight glow, especially with the cream bronzer. These two products aren't super dewy or sticky. I find some cream products can be sticky, almost feel powdered to the touch, but they do give a slight glow. But my hair's not going to get stuck in it. It's not going to smear off. They are great formulas. Now, this was an easy choice for me. For highlighter is MAC Soft and Gentle. As you can see, there's like barely anything of this one left. And this is my second one. It suits my skin tone really well. It suits every look. It's buildable. You know, sort of a thing with these products. I'm going for ones that work for a range of different looks. The shade goes with everything. It suits my skin tone, whether I'm really pale or maybe I've got a bit of a tan. It suits everything. It is my favorite highlighter ever. And it looks so smooth. Doesn't cling to dry patches. Doesn't make your skin look textured. MAC, sponsor me. I'm going to take the Morphe M451 brush, and I like to use one like this, or I have a really small stippling brush as well from MAC, and I buff it in. It gives the most gorgeous glow. I'm not one for like too intense highlighters, but this is perfect, and you could build it up to being very intense if you wanted, but it's not icy. I don't like icy highlighters on myself. It's just one of my ride or die products, which is why I have got through so much of it, especially that being the second one. Now this category I really struggled with. It's brows. I have not found sort of a good combination for my brows yet. So if you have any advice or any recommendations, please let me know in the comments, because I'm not sold on the combination I've picked, but out of what I have tried, like in the last few years. This is what I would keep to, but I'm still so open to trying new things. It's the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. It's a really good shade for me, but it's just not delivering exactly what I want. And the REFY Brow Sculpt for like brow gel. I like a clear brow gel as well, so if you're helping me out in the comments, clear brow gel. This is one of the only ones that sort of hold my eyebrows up, but it has a tendency to leave flakes, and that really annoys me. I found that using quite a small amount and making sure to use the little brush really helps, but it is still finicky in that way, and that is annoying. I want something that I don't have to faff about too much, especially I don't spend a lot of time on my brows. I don't care about them very much. So if you have any advice for me, let me know, but I'm gonna apply these now. I think it's because I've already got relatively full eyebrows for my hair color, especially this one. This is quite full. I have a few gaps like towards the tail here, but this one barely needs any work. It's just something I haven't invested a lot of money and time into. I think I want to, because I've never tried any of the Benefit or the Anastasia Beverly Hills, just because I've never really thought about it. And I'm literally about to finish this. There is no more in this pencil. This could be its last few uses. Okay, and onto the brow sculpt. Another comment from me about this is the wand is really big, so it's very easy to get onto your skin. And if you have base makeup on, it can mess it with it and it makes it look gross. So it means it's quicker, but then I have to be very careful with it, which is annoying. Anyway, here's the finished look at the moment. It's enough that I'm like happy with it, but I'm not saying run and spend your money on it if you already have a well-established brow routine, because it's not revolutionary to me. Don't fix something that isn't broken, and that is very much how I'm feeling with my skincare routine at the moment. It's serving me so well. There is nothing I want to change about it at the moment, and I'm just gonna keep at it. Eyeshadow palettes is actually quite hard to pick because everything sort of is a different vibe, different occasion, different color story. I just went on sort of what I reach for the most. It's Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam. It doesn't actually look like I've made that much of a dent in it, but the amount I reach for these mattes at the bottom, and there's just a perfect range of sort of champagne, gold, pinky shimmers, that it's just the perfect neutral palette. And I wouldn't be too mad if this was the only palette I have, because you can create such dark looks, such nice light airy looks, something pink, something more warm. It's just got a lot of variation in it. And I'm really happy with the quality as well. I'm gonna be using the Morphe Makeup by, no, not Makeup by Mario, Ariel, I can never say his name. Yeah, his brush set with Morphe. I've been using them a lot and I love the quality, so that is what I like at the moment. I'm leaning towards sort of a matte neutral look with this, just to showcase the mattes, because they're like half of this palette. So I think I'm gonna take a mix of orange soda and burnt orange, these two, on the A11 brush, and I'm just gonna sort of fluff that almost over my whole crease and lid. I'm just trying to lay down a base, to be honest. And what I have left over, I'm just gonna run around my lash line, trying to kind of keep them all very coherent and joined together, but it is very messy. I want it to look very blown out to start with. Okay, I'm gonna take the A29 brush, it's sort of a smoky shader sort of thing, and take Sienna here. And I'm just gonna pack it on my lid. See, the mattes are so buttery and rich. What a look. And I'm gonna dip into the burnt orange shade we used earlier and do that around the edges. I'm sort of trying to make a gradient. See, this is something you couldn't do with a lot of palettes because their mattes maybe don't blend out super easily when you place them quite pigmented in one area. It can be hard to fluff out the edges and make them blend, but this palette I have no problem with. So I sort of like just pressing it all down and then blending it out. It makes it quite foolproof. I'm gonna go for the slightly fluffier A20, back into the orange soda and burnt orange, and just blend the edges. It's like a classic sunset eye. Back into the sienna shade and just making sure the most pigmented to my lash line. I wasn't intending to go this sort of smoky when I pulled out this palette, but here we are. I'm just gonna take them shades I'm using and put them on my lower lash line and join them to the outer corner. I kind of went a bit too low here. I'll clear that up. Just to sort of accentuate the lash line, I'm gonna take Cypress Umber on the little A18 brush. It's very tiny, and just sort of put that into the lash line a bit. With the tiniest little wing. I don't really ever do big wings. The most I will do is a little outer corner wing like this. I think it just suits my eye shape the most. Or if I mess it up like that one. And I think doing it with eyeshadow is just a little bit more forgiving. And on my finger, I'm just gonna take glistening and put it in my inner corner. I've sort of showcased a bit more of an intense look that you could do, but you could always do the lightest matte with glistening on the lid, and that is a gorgeous sort of everyday. But yeah, it's a great warm toned palette that you have a lot of options. If you prefer cool tones, Natasha Denona Glam palette. That's a really good one. Okay, for eyeliner, I hope this counts. It's the Charlotte Tilbury sort of duo. I don't know what the name is. I've got it. It's the Super Nudes Liner Duo. I think that's the name. I know she does other shades, but this is the one with the sort of nude and the brown. I'm gonna put the nude in my waterline, and I'm gonna try and tightline with the brown. As I said, I don't really use liquid liner ever. I don't actually own one. I have before, but I just never got on with it, so I no longer do own them. So if I'm using eyeliner, it is something like this to put in the waterline or to tightline with. And this one's perfect because it gives you that nude and the brown. You don't really need anything else for everyday sort of vibes. Other brands probably do a product like this, but this is the one I just get on the most with. And I really find it quite transfer proof, so I can put the lighter colour on my waterline and the dark one on the tight line at the top, and they don't mix together. It's quite hard to achieve. Oh, I do hate tight lining though. There we go. I think just putting that on the waterline keeps your eyes a little bit more open, and I really like it because I could obviously do the dark one on both and that would make it even more smokier, but I'm feeling not going too heavy, even though here we are. Mascara time. I had two in mind, but I ended up picking the MAC Stack Mascara. It's the new one they've come out that I've been testing, and I've just been reaching for it. It gives me that perfect sort of volumized that isn't clumpy, but it still looks really lengthening. It's really black. It doesn't smudge. It's non-waterproof, so if you cry, it will smudge then. But it comes off really easily. It's just ticking all my boxes at the moment, and I've been really enjoying it. The other one is the Rare Beauty Mascara. That's really good. This is just giving me that little bit more length, I think, so that's why I've been reaching for this one a little bit more. I never curl my eyelashes, I just go straight in with mascara. I have tried to curl them and they just fall down in like 2 seconds. I've tried to heat the curler and like curl them up like I'm curling my hair, still doesn't work. There must be something about the hair on me, because my head hair doesn't curl for the life of me. I will literally use a hot curler and it will fall out in about 0.2 seconds. I have had hairdressers try and curl my hair with straighteners. It literally doesn't work. It doesn't work. This is called the Stack Mascara. You're meant to be able to stack on lots of layers and it doesn't go clumpy or anything. Just smudged it. Which I think I can agree with. There is definitely a point to which you're building where it can get a lot. This is what I'm liking at the moment. So it's about 2 layers, I'd say. I have just been sat here building it continuously though. I've just realized I've been filming this video for a really long time, so I hope it's not too long. And if you're still here, props to you. I don't like tons of lower lash mascara, but I do a little bit. But yeah, here is the mascara. I don't have the longest eyelashes in the world. Since I've gone quite heavy on the eyes, I'm just going to apply a little bit more of the bronzer and the blush I used to sort of balance everything out. I feel like I could have gone a lot heavier than I did. It's really hard to tell before you've got eyes and eyebrows on, which I get why people then do it first, but I'm just not about that life. Okay, and I'm just gonna go back in with that Charlotte Tilbury powder on my little brush and just sort of go through the center of my face mostly and powder that. Okay, I think we're on lips. I have used this exact combo on my channel before, so if you see this, you won't be surprised. But this is my sort of favorite lip liner, lipstick and gloss combination. Here it is. So we have Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude Liner, MAC Honeylove NYX Butter Gloss in Fortune Cookie. MAC Honeylove I use so much with lots of different liners. Iconic Nude is a great liner, but I do switch it up a lot with MAC liners and Charlotte Tilbury. I like Pillow Talk as well, depending on the look, because if I'm going for something more cool or if I'm going for something pinky, I will want to change that bit. This is a great sort of highlight in the center of the lip gloss, but I do use a lot of other butter gloss shades as well. But MAC Honeylove seems to be my sort of ride or die with a lipstick. So yeah, let's just put it on. I sort of overline a tiny bit with this, but it's such a lovely shade. And I just take MAC Honeylove sort of in the middle. Just a little bit lighter and slightly more pinky. Mix them together. Yeah, sometimes take my finger to mix them. And I'm gonna take the butter gloss, which is even lighter. And mix them together too. It creates the ultimate gradient lip combo that makes your lips look juicy, defined, but it's not too much. Last but not least, setting spray. Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Set and Refresh Spray. This stuff seals your makeup in and it is not going anywhere. Trust me, this stuff is so good. You have to mix it because it's got two sort of separate layers. And I just sort of try and set it down with some wind. Okay, and here is the final look. It is a little bit more done up. All these products can use a bit more sparingly and in certain ways, and it will not look this done up. That's what I love about all of them, as I have said already. I think it's so flattering and the colors work really well for me. This Hydro Grip spray does make you look a little bit glowy when you first put it on, but it does sort of settle down a bit. But yeah, this is the finished look. Let me know some of your holy grail products in the comments down below, and if you have any ideas for brows, I will really appreciate it. But if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and let me know if you want to see a drugstore cheaper makeup version of this, because mostly what I use, there was quite a few higher end products here with the Chanel, the MAC, the Charlotte Tilbury, Anastasia, Beverly Hills. So if you want to see a drugstore version, I can 100% do that. I've got a lot of drugstore favorites that will give you a really nice look. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of me, and I hope to catch you again in the next one. Bye.